versus
Al. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Cat versus Al. I'm Al. She is
Cat.
And this one we're doing is completely different. We're doing a reaction to the season finale of Game of Thrones, season 5. So I'm sure most of you have obviously seen it. Some of you may have not. But this is basically our spin on it. You know, what happened, our predictions into the future.
This video will have spoilers.
Spoilers.
So if you haven't seen it and don't want to know what happened, then please watch a different video.
Yes, definitely watch a different video if you don't want to be ruined the ending of anything or the story or anything like that. But definitely watch if you do want to. And watch to see what our predictions are, because maybe our predictions are something you haven't thought of. So let's just jump right into it. So
Sure. So this episode was entitled Mother's Mercy. And that had to deal with Cersei.
Yes.
It's not where the episode started, but it was titled that.
Yeah, and you can see we have notes here that goes over everything. I'll put a little picture-in-picture so you can see.
I'd like to just preface this with
this is all Katrina right here.
This is all my handwriting. I'd like to preface that there is a sad face 2 times with tears, and so just to let you know, there's a sad face with tears. But we can start with Cersei because I feel like that's kind of cut and dry.
Yeah, we don't really necessarily have to go right from the very beginning of the episode.
Cersei starts off, and she is being, so far, interrogated by the High Sparrow.
Yes.
And he wants her to confess, and so he has the lady, the nun-looking lady.
Shame! Shame!
Not yet. Come in and say, confess. And then she doesn't, and so whatever. But today, she actually confesses. And so she goes before the High Sparrow, and she says, hey, I slept with Lancel, my cousin. He's like, have you slept with anyone else? And she says no, and she's denied it. But he knows that she has accusations against her by lots of people about sleeping with Jaime and the incest issue.
Incest.
He said because she's confessed most of her sins, she can go back home.
Yeah, she only really confesses that one.
But she has to make atonement, and for the other sins that she hasn't confessed to, she'll have a trial. So her atonement is walking naked through the city with her hair cut off, with people throwing food and rocks and spitting in her face and flaring their genitalia at her.
So, quick side note, I give mad kudos to the actress who plays Cersei. Yeah, a.k.a. she was in 300. Also, she was in Sarah Connor Chronicles, which I actually enjoyed watching. But I give her kudos, like fully nude, like walking down with in the streets naked with people just like shouting at you. And
so as she's walking, the nun,
straight face, man.
the nun lady is walking behind her, ringing a bell, going shame, and then like dings a bell.
That must have did it like 60 times.
As soon as Cersei gets back to the Red Keep, she's gonna find a way to end that nun's life.
So that's the thing. I called it in the sense of she goes back in, and because the preview before the show started, the episode started, they showed the Frankenstein guy, the mountain, being like resurrected again. And it was my assertion that somewhere along the way, this guy, this freaking scientist guy, was going to bring him back. Yeah, was going to bring him back right when we least expected.
Breaking loose. Yeah. So at the end of that clip, pretty much about Cersei, ends with Qyburn kind of comforting her and saying, "Hey, look what I've got." And it's he doesn't say
Zombie Mountain.
He doesn't say who it is, but everyone knows because he's humongous that he's part of the Kingsguard, and the Mountain is back and does not speak, but is alive and huge and Frankenstein.
I do love that moment though, because all hell's gonna break loose, and it's not because like I'm rooting for Cersei. I'm just rooting for this guy just to ravage. Like
she's gonna have her vengeance against the sparrows or whatever they're called.
Yeah, I just wanted to see like the Mountain just go off and kill everybody.
The funny thing about that, the side note about that is the High Sparrow. When he was talking to, who was it? Who was that lady's name? The grandmother lady. No, the grandmother lady. The lady of Marjorie.
Oh yeah, let's just say Grandma Martell, or not Martell. Grandma, what's that family's name? Yeah, I thought it was Martell. Tyrell.
So
sorry, Tyrell Martell.
Lady Martell. Tyrell. Lady Tyrell. You messed me up. Lady Tyrell goes to speak to the High Sparrow, and he says because she wants Loras to be freed because he's he is gay and he's being punished for it, and so she wants him to be released, and so he pretty much says that he wants to turn the people against the royals and kind of let the city take over, because that's what he's after. He hates the royals in that they're just hypocrisy and the reason for all the sins and all of that. And so it's kind of funny because he is also getting his own scheme in play, where he wants the city to turn, and by the city seeing Cersei walking naked, and they are allowed to throw things at her, spit at her, hurt her, and do whatever they want to her, it kind of makes them lose their respect for her, in turn would have the people lose respect for the royals. And so he is starting to get his gears in motion to have like the city kind of revolt against the royals. They're not so scared. But the funny thing is they should, because they've got the mountain.
But the Mountain, see, that's the thing though, that quick thing that I was saying about the side note was, not only is he going to just ravage everybody, but at some point he is going to talk, because they kind of said that, like they're like he will talk once vengeance has basically been.
I don't think it really matters.
It doesn't matter, but I mean, I'm just curious, like is he just a zombie? Is he a Frankenstein? Does he have anything of a human quality to him?
Probably not, but we'll see. So that's kind of where Cersei lies, and so I feel.
Where's Tolman too? That's the thing that I'm wondering about, because his story has something to be desired, but they didn't do anything with him.
They didn't do anything with him, but he abandoned his mother.
Yeah.
Speaking of Cersei's children.
Yes.
We also visited Dorne with Jaime and Marcella, and so we see that Marcella and Tristan and Jaime are all going on this boat to leave, and with Ron, and what's her name?
Which one?
One of the sand snake's mother, the prince, his lover, the mistress lady.
Oh yeah. We're just gonna say a woman with short hair, short black hair, who was basically the lover of the prince that died by
Ilaria Sand. Her name is Ilaria Sand.
Yeah.
Ilaria Sand.
Her lover died by the hands of the Mountain.
Just quickly, Ilaria Sand kisses Marcella, and you guessed it, and you were right pretty much. They get on the boat, and Marcella is poisoned by Ilaria, and so Ilaria gets her vengeance for her lover being killed by the Lannisters indirectly. And so Marcella, in the moment of her about imminent death, hears the confession of Jaime saying that he's her father, and she knows, and it's heartwarming, and then she's poisoned and dies.
It's weird, because it's like yay, heartwarming incest.
Yeah. Yeah, and so it's interesting to see, kind of because of one of the book based on the book, And I kind of look up online to see book theories and stuff, and one of the things that was kind of left out a little bit out of the movie was the prophecy of what's it called of Cersei, and that she will watch her children die, and that then she'll die, and kind of thing.
Yeah, once she sees that all her children are dead, then she's gonna die by
the hands of her little brother, or not her little brother. It could be her younger brother. It could be her literal little brother, by Tyrion. So we don't know exactly who it is, but
it's certainly coming to fruition.
Her first son died, and we were all happy about it. Freaking Joffrey. And now her daughter has died, and so now we wait for Tommen,
whatever.
And he is kind of a pushover, and so I feel like he is just too good for his own.
Yeah, he's gonna get his next season at some point.
He's not gonna last. So it's interesting to see that storyline play through.
Well, that leads into the next thing. So it's funny how what you were saying before, how you have this weird voodoo magic that's basically predicting the future outcomes for everybody. So the future outcome of Cersei seems like it's very much coming into play. Now you also have Melisandre, who tried to predict the future for Stannis.
Right, and so the episode starts off with Stannis being told that half his men have left because he's sacrificed his daughter Shireen to kind of have Melisandre do her black magic and kind of help bring the tides to pretty much make the tides play out for him, whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean, at some point they said that's she said to him that Stannis would be in the snow. She believes that
he's the Lord of Light's champion, and she says in the end, I see you winning, and you're gonna be the one who stands out, and whatever. But it's funny because as soon as she tries to comfort him and say, look, the snow is melting, he kind of puts her off, and she makes a face and just leaves and goes to be with Jon Snow.
Yeah. Quick thing: Stannis' wife kills herself by hanging. She just can't live with the fact that she sacrificed her own child. So
right, and
that's
so
just like a side note.
Stannis has really nothing else to live for, so he decides that they're going to continue on with marching on Winterfell, even though he has, a bunch of his men were killed by Ramsay, and the 20 men's burning, their camp, and then half of them left and are mutineers kind of. And so he's like, yeah, let's go to Winterfell. We'll siege them at dawn. And they're like, no, they're waiting for us. And so pretty much there's just a big, huge slaughter. And, you see all the bodies piled up in the snow. They kind of have this big, overhead view.
Well, we'll get back to that. That's one of my predictions.
You see Ramsay, and Ramsay, is in the fight. And he's super excited. And he, is killing people, and he's super excited, and it's just a field day for him. And then Brienne comes to find Stannis leaned over on a tree, and tries to avenge Renly, and it kind of cuts off before even showing it. So she apparently sentences Stannis to die, and he...
What do you think? 50-50. Is he dead, or is he
die,
not
and then
dead?
you see her slash him.
It's just a high shot of her just with a sword striking down.
So he may or may not be
beheading.
Dead, but they want us to assume as much, and then it cuts out. I don't really care if he dies or not.
Me either. I mean, he's not that crucial, but I will say, so what I was saying before.
Getting back to
So they did a bird's eye view. They did a overall landscape of all the dead bodies that Stannis's army was part of in that war, and basically everybody's dead. The reason I say this could be two different things going on here. One, they just show basically the bloodshed of war. Like, that's easy. Just bloodshed of war. This is how many people died. You get that bird's eye view. It just shows how much just chaos there was. Or they show that shot because the White Walkers, in the sense that these guys could come back as part of the army of White Walkers. I mean, I'm leaning more towards that.
I don't know how I feel about that, just because, they kind of cut out of that scene and just moved on to the next story. I don't know how I feel about that, but I feel like...
Especially after Hardball in the last episode. I feel like it doesn't
really matter, honestly, just because with the closer that the White Walkers get, the more that the more bodies they're gonna gain. But you have to understand, they're not even over the wall yet. Winterfell is, in the wall, and so they've got some time to take care of the bodies. Maybe they'll set them on fire. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, but there was White Walkers above the wall, right? In episode 1 of season 1, when they were weren't they in Winterfell when they showed like those White Walkers in the first ever episode of Game of Thrones kill those people?
They made it. No, well, yes, but that was because they had brought back the dead bodies from over the wall. Remember? They brought back the dead bodies from over the wall, and they left them there, and then they kind of came out in the night and was like, "Hey, I'm ready to play."
But
so there's
that. Could be. That could be a prediction. I don't know
if I agree with you, but there's that.
It's a long shot, but who knows? If it happens, it happens.
So kind of moving on, from that battle on the other side. So Ramsay is fighting. While he's fighting, Sansa leaves her room. She escapes. She goes to the tower, lights a candle. Brienne and Pod see that Stannis' troops are there. She kind of breaks in and is like, "Hey, I'm gonna go and freaking kill Stannis." But in the meantime, Sansa comes back and is stopped by
She puts the
Ramsay.
light. Yeah, she puts the light in the tower, and of course, when she puts the light in the tower, Brienne and her counterpart don't see. Huh?
Yeah, Brienne and Pod don't see it.
They don't see it, of course.
Sansa ends up coming back, and sees the fight, and ends up coming back within the castle, area, and is stopped by Reek and Ramsay's former mistress.
Yeah.
/ current mistress, but side toy. And she pretty much is trying to antagonize Sansa, kind of saying, like, you're just good for making Ramsay's babies, and he's just going to throw you aside once you have, some sons, kind of putting in her, because she's so jealous of her that she just wants to hurt her. And so she's about to, maybe shoot her with her bow and arrow, which probably would have happened.
I felt what was going to happen next. I knew it. I called it.
Freaking Reek / Theon Greyjoy pushes her over the edge of the tower. She dies.
Which is funny. It was just like, you see the body go over, and it's like, thump.
It's splatted, like as if you took a piece of as if you took a piece of Jello and just threw it on the floor and it just splatters everywhere. That was pretty much what she looked like. It was gross. But it was. I mean, it's Game of Thrones. And so as soon as that happens, Ramsay comes back from his fun party of killing people, and Reek is terrified that he's gonna get caught for it because he can't lie to Ramsay, and so he pretty much grabs Sansa's hand and they jump over the wall.
Yeah,
and they escape. So my idea of what will happen in her storyline is that Ramsay's gonna find out, and they're gonna go seek her out and find her. One, because of Reek being an important aspect of Ramsay's life. Yeah, he uses him as a play toy, but he kind of depends on him and is counting on him to help him do his dirty work. And 2, Sansa is the key to the North, everyone says. Everyone's like, she's the key to the North. She's the warden of the North.
Yeah.
And so they have no claim over, the North, and they won't have the people's hearts, whatever. I mean, that means...
do you think that story's still relevant? Do you think it should still keep going? Or do you feel like it's kind of running its course? The Reek and the Sansa story?
I don't know, but they ended it there, so we'll have to see. Going to another Stark child. There's Arya.
I don't want to end it on a sad note because this next part.
Well, I'm gonna do Arya. We're gonna talk about Arya, okay. And then we can talk about the last.
And then end it with Dany.
Sure.
Okay.
So Arya, she pretty much face shifts into a little girl to get into.
This one I predicted too.
I don't know his name, but he was like he was
basically like the knight's hand almost. He was like the guardian
of
the
King's
knight.
Guard.
Yeah, for Joffrey, I believe. He started, I think, in Joffrey's role. He basically was the guy.
No, he wasn't Joffrey.
Well, he basically killed, or we think he killed Arya's trainer.
Syrio.
Yeah.
But anyway, so she has had him on her list. She was the first. He was the first one that hurt her, and so she swore vengeance. To say, to avenge, her
dancing
dear friend.
Swordsman.
And so pretty much she pretends like she's one of the little girls that he likes to get with because he is a creep, and he pretty much just enjoys beating little girls and torturing them. And so she knows that because she, in the previous episode, was selling oysters and was kind of following him. And so she face changes. She steals a face from the Hall of Faces or whatever. And gouges his eyes out and then is putting him in his, saying it to his face, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? And so she's like, I'm Arya Stark. Do you know who you are? You are no one. You're nothing. And then kills him. And so obviously,
I knew whatever his name is, the leader of the faces, or at least of that
black and white.
Yeah, of that temple. I just had a feeling he knew all along, even before that she
defied their rules by stealing a face when she was not ready and saying that she is somebody and not being actually no one. She defied their rules, and so he pretty much says, you took a life, we owe a life, and drinks the poison apparently himself and to teach her a lesson, and she gets very upset. Arya gets very upset, and she then, the other girl from the temple turns her around and is like, why are you crying? And you see that she has the face of the guy. And she's super confused, and then he says, what you did was pretty much stealing the faces was pretty much as good as you drinking poison, by not being, by not being nobody. She was somebody. So she's punished.
She blew her cover.
She was being punished, and at the end of the episode, she just you see her eyes changing, and they're changing blue, and
basically it seems like she's either going to be blinded. I think of one thing, two different scenarios happening. Either one, she's just completely blind now, or two, she either dies or something happens where she her memory is lost and she just becomes one of them. I feel like she just it
what
resets.
Happens
she
is
just resets.
That because when he drinks the poison, she pulls the faces, and it's funny because it's like she pulls a face, and you see all the people behind it. And the last face that's shown is her own face, and that's when she sees that, her eyes turn blue and she can't see anything. And so I feel like her punishment is that he kills the Arya person, and she is now going to be changed to somebody else.
She resets herself, basically.
So I feel like Arya, quote unquote,
the Arya we know,
dead, and she'll be born into somebody else, or changed into someone else, transformed into someone else. So I feel like the next season will open up into that.
Which will be weird because, I mean, basically it's like you're kind of killing a character, but you're killing someone in real life because the actress who played Arya probably isn't going to be that person anymore.
Unless she is blind, and then it's different.
Yeah, I hope it isn't, because that's kind of just... Her story, I don't know why. Like, as it progresses, I don't really care that much.
So let's move on to
another Stark.
Another maybe Stark, half Stark, or
Jon Snow.
Yeah, another Starky. So it's Jon's story starts off in the episode with him sending Sam to Olden Town to kind of go to the Citadel and become a maester.
Yeah, they have a heartwarming moment.
He wants to learn to be a maester and kind of take care of everyone, and they kind of have a bro heart-to-heart, and he kind of learns that, Sam and Gilly kind of, get it on and whatever.
It's like a foreshadowing,
have kind of like
basically.
A bro moment, because he's like, hey, yeah, I did that. And he's like, yeah, now you know what I feel, because, my lady, and me and whatever.
There's definitely some foreshadowing, because Jon is like, yeah, I don't want you to go because you're the only one that I can A, trust, and B, you give advice that I listen to. And it's just like one of those like ominous like things that you just like, man, this is kind of,
And then, he shares to, which is important, he shares to Sam that his sword, Longclaw, is made out of Valyrian steel, and that's what killed the White Walkers. So Sam knows, that dragonglass is effective against White Walkers, but so is Valyrian steel.
Yeah, so that means only Sam knows, and only Jon knows.
Because Jon was the only one there who saw that he had done that. Well, yeah. And so there's that, and, Davos comes in and is like, hey, come and help Stannis. And then Melisandre kind of busts in with like a super sad face, and at first I was like, is she trying to trick everyone? Like, what is she doing?
That is an interesting part, which we're going to go into, because that's a huge prediction that I think we both maybe agree on, maybe not. But bringing her into the fold into Castle Black, you try to figure out why they're trying to do this, and I feel like we have maybe a reason.
We do, but let's just... I don't know, though, because she was kind of trying to fool Davos, I feel like, being like, oh, I don't know anything about Shireen.
But Davos is so much smarter than that. He doesn't like her. He doesn't trust her. He knows that she's up to no good. That she's playing with puppets, basically. So I don't think that Davos really believes. He believes that everybody's dead, and I'm sure he believes that the daughter's dead. But how she died, no, I don't for 1 second believe that. They just died because of war.
Right. So moving on, just getting towards it, the episode started, or the episode preview, previously on, showed that, a clip of his uncle, Benjen, being maybe alive, and I got super excited, because another
really pulled a fast one.
Awesome! No, that's where my sad face comes in. Pretty much.
Wait a second though. Jon does so before we get there, Jon is in his quarters and he's reading different notes. Now I'm guessing some of these notes because he's just like totally just like
I think
down.
These are the notes about Shireen.
Probably Stannis.
Shireen and Stannis and the wife, Celeste, whatever her name is. The events of the Stannis clan, pretty much.
Yeah.
And the little boy walks in,
Ollie,
and like, hey, your uncle might be alive. Somebody knows, and so he
Benjen,
goes.
Yeah.
He goes and sees, some of the people in his Night's Watch, and the guy who hates him, the old guy.
The SOB, the second in command to Jon, who was in command of the Watch before.
We knew that he was gonna try to hurt Jon in a way, but he pretty much leads him and says, "There's this one guy that says you're Uncle Benjen is alive. Come and see. Only he knows. Maybe you can get him to talk about where he is.
Yeah,
so
he
Ollie
leads
is
him out.
led to a corner. Now, mind you, Sam is away. It's the middle of the night, and,
yeah,
it's just Jon, and he is led to a corner that has the sign Traitor. And as soon as Jon sees that, he turns around and is like, oh crap. And so pretty much there's a mutiny, and everyone starts to stab him, saying...
for the watch.
For the watch. Yeah. And then...
for the Night's Watch, basically.
So he falls to his knees, and then Ollie comes and stabs him in the heart and says, for the watch. And so pretty much Jon Snow falls over and dies. No, he dies.
No, he is dead.
He actually dies.
But like, as for the finite, it's over for him. That's where I think that we say maybe not so much.
We both feel like maybe he isn't quite dead. That it's kind of something where he's dead now, but maybe he'll be like, come back kind of thing. Just because I feel like there's been a lot of theories about who his parents are and why would they keep it a secret, kind of thing. Why would they kind of make that a big deal?
To do, yeah.
And not say anything about it, and now he's dead. And so some of the fan theories about who Jon Snow's parents are, a lot of people think that his mother is Lyanna, Ned Stark's sister, and his father is Rhaegar, Targaryen.
Yeah, the dragon.
And that when Lyanna was kidnapped, quote unquote, by Rhaegar, she wasn't actually kidnapped. He kind of wasn't. They were kind of in love with each other, kind of a looping kind of thing, and everyone thinks that she was raped and whatever, and maybe it wasn't rape, and maybe she had a child by that quote unquote rape. And Ned Stark kind of wanted to do his duty towards his sister and keep it a secret about her, not really being raped or whatever.
Yeah, so...
And said that he came back from war and had a son, Jon Snow. That's why he hasn't really said anything about who his mother is.
So I just think...
So with that, he is very much in line to, having the throne, the Iron Throne, because he is such a key figure. He is the son of Lyanna Stark, and he would be the son of, Targaryen, the king.
And so I think that they emphasize really Jon a lot throughout, this season and some of the last season. I'd be very surprised that, yes, is he dead? Yeah, he is dead. But in the fact that just killing him off like that permanently,
kind of strange.
I don't think it's just a weird way for him to go out.
Another theory that I kind of thought of while I was watching, and then I kind of looked into before we started filming right now. It makes sense, was that Melisandre kind of gave up on Stannis when she found out that he, might not be the Lord of Light's champion, and she might have gone to Jon Snow thinking that he is the Lord of Light's champion. Mind you, they've killed Shireen, which is who has King's blood, and so she has the power of black magic to do something. So she's got something up her sleeve. And if Jon Snow is the Lord of Light's champion, then there is a good chance that she might be involved with kind of bringing him back, because one of the prophecies for the Lord of Light's champion, the whatever it's called, the whatever it was called, the something high, whatever it is.
I'm not sure.
Whatever it is, they say that they have to die and be reborn.
Yeah.
And so if he dies and is reborn, that it could kind of work for Jon Snow, because he's dead and then kind of is brought back.
The perfect scenario is the guy that he had like an eye patch a couple seasons back, who was part of religion of the light, so to speak, and he died. He died by the Hound. The Hound killed him straight up, and then this guy comes over, whispers something to him, boom, guy comes back to life. So it could happen. It theoretically could happen, where where maybe Melisandre says something to Jon when he's dead, when we're seeing the dead body, or something happens like that, and he rises back up, or and I think that would be cool. I think it'd be very dramatic and lead to a lot of different scenarios. But killing him off, I don't know.
The actor playing Jon Snow, Kit Harington, was told that he is dead, that his character is dead, and that he's not coming back for the next season. And so that's kind of, I'm going to just throw that in there as well, just so that everyone gets kind of the whole picture.
But the author said something interesting.
George R. Martin also said, "Oh, you think he's dead?" So, I mean, you never know with Game of Thrones. They like to throw twists at you and kind of make you think one thing and it's another, and so you never know. So, there's that. Moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrion.
Yeah. Meereen. We go to Meereen, and it's kind of funny because you're basically in Meereen. You're into where Dany sat on the throne in Meereen, inside the pyramid, and you see Tyrion on the top. You see
Jorah.
Yep. You see Jorah.
The Andal.
Yep. Down below on the left of Tyrion, and then you see to the right of Tyrion. You see the guy who they subbed in as another actor, but I don't know. His name begins with a D, I think, Darius or something like that, or it's. I think it's very similar.
Dario.
So Dario's there, and they're basically, the three of them are all talking
about going to rescue
Dany.
And then in comes Grey Worm with Melisandre.
Yeah.
Melisandre.
That doesn't matter. The one that can speak multiple languages.
Dany's BFF.
Yeah.
Hey girl.
Hey.
Oh hey. And so they're all kind of trying to plan who's gonna go on this expedition to go and save Dany, who's with her dragon. And so they all keep fighting, and pretty much they know that Drogon flew north, where they don't know. And so pretty much they hash it out, and they decide that Jorah and Dario are gonna go and go try to find Daenerys, and Tyrion is gonna be left to kind of rule Meereen with Grey Worm, because Grey Worm is kind of the people's person, and Melisandre is also, knows the intentions of the queen and knows, what she would do. She kind of is, BFFs, and so, they all trust her to kind of make decisions in kind of similar flat fashion as Dany.
Yeah.
And then, so,
I love when Dario asked Tyrion. Tyrion's like, "I want to go with you to the expedition." Dario goes, "Well, can you fight?" And he's like, "Well, I've fought a battle here and there." Can you ride a house? I'm middling at that. Can you
ride a horse, not a house?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's late. This is like 11:30 Eastern time, but so can you ride a horse? And he says, "I'm middling at best with that. I'm okay at fighting. I fought a couple of times." And then basically he's like, "Well, can you do tracking? Can you track her?" And he's like, "No." And then Dario goes, "Well, what are you good at?" He goes, "Well, I'm good at talking, and I'm good at drinking." So
Right. And so Tyrion is left with the city, and he's kind of like, "Oh." And then freaking Varys comes in.
Oh, that was so awesome. I love that guy.
Good old Varys with his little birds and his web of spies. And so pretty much Varys kind of reassures Tyrion that ruling Meereen is very similar to his experience of kind of being hand of the king in the city.
Yeah.
And so Tyrion is super excited because he's like,
now I got my power back.
Now I'm all set. I know how to do this.
I have the power glove.
So switching to Dany, she's on this mountainish kind of plateau with Drogon. Drogon is hurt. He doesn't want to move. She tries to make him
skeletons.
She tries to make him move, and I'm just like, no, leave him to rest. He's hurt. He just saved you. Like, he's a dragon. He didn't have to save you. I mean, it's cool that you just rode this dragon, but just give him a break.
It's funny because she's like, come on, let's go. Come on. He's like, leave me the hell alone, bitch.
He's like, no, get off my back. And so she's like, fine, let me go and find some food for us. And so she like climbs down this hill and is then swarmed by these horsed riders, which are actually Dothraki. And so she notices that they're Dothraki and knows that these Dothraki are not like her Khal Drogo. And drops the ring that she had
from Drogo, right? I guess it's assumed, right?
I don't know if it's from Drogo or if it was her for being queen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Either way, she drops a ring, and so maybe, hopefully, someone will find it, and maybe they won't think that she's, they won't figure out who she is. And so kind of her scene kind of ends with that, in that, she's being surrounded by the Dothraki. She's going to be captured by them. And so pretty much Jorah and Dario are going to have to go rescue her from that. The interesting thing, though, is that Jorah is affected by grayscale right now.
Oh, yeah.
And it's getting worse and worse and worse. So it'll be interesting to see how that
impacts. The whole... it's kind of cool. I think that's a kind of cool side story to next season is Jorah and Dario. I think that's really going to be cool to see how they interact, and especially the guy having, the scales, grayscale or whatever. I think that's going to... it'll lead to an interesting story, I think.
Yeah, so the only thing that really wasn't shown was, they didn't show much about wildlings. The wildlings... No,
not at all. Where are the wildlings when freaking Jon Snow needs them?
The wildlings might turn on the Night's Watch to kind of pay vengeance to their leader who is dead, but we don't know because we don't know if Jon Snow is actually dead. We are left to assume so, but the thing is,
the walkers are coming.
Jon Snow is not going to be in season 6, and so we never know.
Well, we don't even know about that. I mean, everybody says that, but you never know.
They're starting to film.
They are.
I thought. I think season 6 is slated to be released in 2016.
Okay.
Probably like March or April, I think, usually. Okay. So there's that. And then the other part is the White Walkers. And there's this kind of mystery about who the White Walkers are, what their motive is. Why do they just come out about? And there's, fan theories about that, and who they are, and who the leader is, and all of that.
Yeah, the leader being people saying that the leader is a former Night's Watch who fell in love with a girl that had the skin color of the moon, and basically she was a White Walker, and once he fell in love with her, that kind of transformed him into a White Walker. He became king of the Night Walkers.
So the White Walkers. But the funny thing was that the person who did that was a Night's Watch, a person from the Night's Watch.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think that, the reason why the White Walkers, they built the wall to keep the White Walkers out, and, the White Walkers were defeated, and they sent this person to kind of be like, you're dead, like, go away, dead people. And then he became one.
Yeah.
And so it's funny that way to kind of see it. Where was I going with this? So there was a theory about the motive for, the White Walkers coming about. Like, okay, this is done, don't
to
come
cleanse
back.
the world type of thing.
We'll leave you alone. We'll leave you in your realm. Like, we won't touch you, kind of thing. And the humans kind of went back on their word, kind of thing, where the wildlings were living beyond the wall. The Night's Watch made it past the wall. So these people were like, listen, like, you're gonna attack us. Not really people, it's undead people. But that's fine. Whatever. And so they're coming to kind of march and be like, listen, you broke the rules, we're gonna come after you, kind of thing. To kind of show that, there isn't evil and there's good, because there's never good and evil in Game of Thrones. It's, you think someone's good, and then you find out that...
Well, I mean, every person has their fallacy, they're just their wrong part of them, Even someone like Jon, who many perceive as a hero, some perceive as a traitor, or, some perceive him just in a different light.
They're just people. Everyone's just a person. Everyone has their negatives
Nobody's
and positives.
Perfect.
And that's what kind of you get from Game of Thrones. So there's that. I don't know much about the White Walkers, but I feel like there's a lot more to learn.
It'll be interesting. I mean, who knows if the leader of the White Walkers starts talking, because then that could be something, because obviously him doing that moment in Hardhome was freaking phenomenal in the sense of just upping the ante. But I think if they just keep showing him marching, I don't know what the impact is, unless he can maybe speak, or maybe it's just his actions are his words. So
so season 6.
Yeah, where are we going?
So, Stannis is dead, maybe not dead. Jon Snow is dead, but we're hoping he's not dead, but he won't be back for season 6. Arya might be dead, or her character, quote unquote, Arya is, being punished, dead, or is being changed to somebody else. No one. Sansa has escaped with Reek / Theon Greyjoy, and is trying to make a run for it. Tyrion is going to rule Meereen, while Jorah and Dario kind of go and seek out Dany. Dany is captured by the Dothraki. Cersei is going to have her revenge. And the High Sparrow is super happy because he just kind of humiliated Cersei, which is exciting for him. Jaime is on a boat with his dead daughter / niece.
Yeah.
Coming back to back home, and it's going to have to face the wrath of Cersei. There's the zombie mountain that's going to come and lay vengeance. Ramsay's going to be super sad and not happy at all to see that Sansa has escaped.
I don't think he's gonna be sad. I think he's gonna be upset.
Like, he's gonna be pissed off.
Yeah.
His girlfriend is dead. His wife has left him with his play toy Reek, and they've escaped, and so that's wonderful.
So season 6, I think you're gonna see.
And maybe in season 6 we'll see more of Bran.
I was right about
Bran
to say
and
that.
Hodor.
That is a guarantee. I just feel like you're going to see them.
Because they ended season 4 with, well, they didn't end it, but it kind of left off with Bran saying that, he will fly and,
Yeah, that he won't be the same person he is, basically.
Yeah.
He's going to be some sort of transformative person. He's going to do whether that's animal or otherwise.
He's going to do some wargy thing.
Yeah. Animorphs.
So that's that. That's our review of this last episode of season 5.
Yeah,
and where we think season 6 is going.
Season 6, Bran.
Definitely
White Walkers.
We are super sad about how this season ended. But
most depressing season ever.
No, I don't know about that. I don't know. No. But
well, I mean, depressing just because, like, in the sense of like, the little girl being burned, Stannis' daughter being burned. What happened with Jon. I mean, it's hurt. Just like it's messed up. It's really downers.
I was hurt, but I'm not surprised. I feel like the most hurt I felt was
Sansa rape.
The most hurt I felt was Robb Stark, Catelyn Stark, and Robb Stark's wife and unborn baby being slaughtered.
I'm a huge Robb Stark fan. That hit me. The Robb Stark thing hit me harder than the Jon Snow thing, and I know some people disagree with that, and by all means, that's your opinion, and I won't I won't fault you for that.
We just think there's more to Jon Snow's story than
you mean more. There was more to Robb.
There's more left of Jon Snow's story to be seen.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So we're crossing our fingers on that one, but I'm super excited for season 6 and can't wait to see what's gonna happen because now.
Don't worry, it's what, April 2016.
We had another, I don't even know how many months, but
okay,
lots and lots of months to get over our sadness of Jon Snow being stabbed.
So the last thing, because obviously we're not going to do this for quite some time, but some last predictions. I'll do 3, you do 3, just very... I know, I just want to put a final touch on this thing, just very quick. So for me, I think we're going to see a whole lot more of the White Walkers. I think, I'll let you have the Jon thing, but... I think we're going to see a whole lot of White Walkers. I think that you're definitely going to have some more Bran, whether you like it or not. And the Mountain is just going to ravage every fucking person.
I'm going to say that my 3 are definitely the White Walkers because winter is coming. I'm also saying that we're going to see a lot of Bran as well, just because I feel like that's a no-brainer. I'm hoping... I'm not going to say we're going to see Jon Snow, because we already know that Jon Snow is not coming to season 6.
Littlefinger.
We're going to see a lot of Tyrion.
I think we could see... it popped in my head, Littlefinger, because... we hadn't seen him for maybe 3-4 episodes ago. But I think Littlefinger's going to play a part again, especially with Sansa and Reek next season.
That's true. That's a good idea.
So I think that could be something.
Yeah, and so... yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of things going on with this season finale.
Mm-hmm.
We're not even really quite sure what's gonna happen in next season, but that's our take on it. And yeah, so this is kind of a little out of ordinary for us to kind of review a TV series finale. We usually review video games, but that's fine.
I think this is cool. It's our own little reaction piece to something that a lot of people are into, and we are into it just as much. And we hope you enjoyed it. If you have any predictions of your own, feel free to throw them out to us.
Put it in the comments.
Yeah, put in the comments on our YouTube channel. We also have a Patreon channel. We're on Twitter at Cat vs. Al. We have a Facebook page as well, so look out for that. And
if you're interested in any of our mobile game reviews, you can check that out on our YouTube page. And
we have some future ones coming.
Yeah, we are putting out fresh stuff pretty regularly. Yeah, so okay. I think that'll do it for this episode of Cat vs. Al.
All right.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time. We hope you enjoyed. Winter is coming. Uh-oh. Winter is coming.